This article is titled Pesticide Exposure, Safety Issues, and Risk Assessment Indicators and was authored by Damilos Christos and Eleftheroharinos Ilias.
Occupational exposure to pesticides often occurs in the case of agricultural workers in open fields and greenhouses, workers in the pesticide industry, and exterminators of house pests. Exposure of the general population to pesticides occurs primarily through eating food and drinking water contaminated with pesticide residues, whereas substantial exposure can also occur in or around the home. Regarding the adverse effects on the environment, water, soil and air contamination from leaching, runoff, and spray drift, as well as the detrimental effects on wildlife, fish, plants, and other non-target organisms. Many of these effects depend on the toxicity of the pesticide, the measures taken during its application, the dosage applied, the adsorption on soil colloids, the weather conditions prevailing after application, and how long the pesticide persists in the environment. The risk assessment of the impact of pesticides either on human health or on the environment is not an easy, and particularly accurate process because of differences in the periods and levels of exposure, the types of pesticides used, regarding toxicity and persistence, and the environmental characteristics of the areas where pesticides are usually applied. The number of the criteria used and the method of their implementation to assess the adverse effects of pesticides on human health could affect risk assessment and would possibly affect the characterization of the already approved pesticides and the approval of the new compounds in the near future. On the other hand, the implementation of alternative cropping systems that are less dependent on pesticides, the development of new pesticides with novel modes of action and improved safety profiles, and the improvement of the already used pesticide formulations towards safer formulations, microcapsule suspensions, could reduce the adverse effects of farming and particularly the toxic effects of pesticides. The use of appropriate and well-maintained spraying equipment along with taking all precautions that are required in all stages of pesticide handling could minimize human exposure to pesticides and their potential adverse effects on the environment.
We are article.tv. Links in the description below.